Welcome to the podcast, The Story Behind the Song with Denny Carleton and Friends. On this podcast, you will hear stories, listen to archived interviews from Denny's previous radio show, The Cleveland Music Connection, and hear what Denny and his friends are up to now. So here is my favorite singer, songwriter, recording artist, author, music teacher, radio personality, Denny Carleton.
Hi, this is Denny Carleton, and welcome to The Story Behind the Song. The podcast will feature stories behind my songs and other songs, archived interviews with my friends, and from my previous radio show, The Music Connection, and also updates with what's happening today. My guest today is Al Globekar, who I played with in Milk. Al started his musical journey, his musical career in the 60s with the Shanes. I eventually played with him in the 70s in Milk. And then from Milk, he went on to Toots and also went on to Circus. While in Milk, Al and I performed my song, Boy Can I Dance Good. Brian Sands sang lead on it. Boy Can I Dance Good was made famous by the Pagans and has been recorded by many bands throughout the world. And Al, you can hear Al's creative guitar on this. Dave Alexi playing the drums. And this is a highly edited tape, but let's listen to a little bit of what Boy Can I Dance Good sounded like with the Milk. If you wanted to hear more of a longer version of this, you can also check out my website, which I have, and you can also hear this on iTunes or Spotify, anywhere. It's Milk doing Boy Can I Dance Good. Just for the record, that whole segment with Milk was edited. The song is really 7 or 8 minutes long. You can go up to my website and hear the whole song or the whole song of me commenting. So almost anything you hear on this podcast, you're going to be able to listen to on the website in a bigger, longer way. And my website is www.dennycarleton.com. Go to radio or podcast, and you'll be able to hear more highlights of this whole show. If you do check out the website on Boy Can I Dance Good, Brian plays a theremin solo. And also one thing I'd like to add is, besides playing in Milk, Al and I ended up doing a local single together, which we're going to talk about very soon. And we also have recently recorded 2 different CDs, Shadowlands, which is a solo CD of mine, which Al arranged, and also what we're going to feature on today's show, The Troubadour and the Cowboy, with me doing the first half, being the troubadour, and Al doing the second half, doing his tribute to Western song. Here's an interview I did with Al over the phone, and we reminisce about, he tells me a little bit about what's happened to him since Circus and Milk, how he did a local single, how he recorded the Peter Gunn theme, and then we're going to eventually go into Troubadour and the Cowboy a little bit later in the show. So we made a single, actually it was an EP in the 1970s, and we did Could She Love Me, If I Only Had a Bomb, and also Pregnant Molly. And we wanted to be called Denny and Al, but do you remember what our friend Dave 99 called us?
Yes, 99 called us the Cleveland Cuties, and we had no choice but to go with it because he was paying for it.
Yeah, we hated that. We were in our 20s, and even if someone said that now, although we might not feel that bad about being Cleveland Cuties nowadays, but
right.
Back then that was sort of corny. So, but you play a really cool guitar part there, and so let's listen to that. Okay. So, Al, after you left Circus, I know vaguely your history. If you were asking me questions about my history, you'd kind of know it and everything. But I got a few things. Like you had a couple chances to try out for pretty well-known bands, right? You tried out for Hall & Oates?
No, we didn't. I never got to try out. I was going to, but then they ended up not doing tryouts.
Okay, so they got someone else, but you were invited to try out, and then it didn't.
I was invited to try out, but
Yeah.
I never got to that point.
Yeah, that's cool. And then you had some kind of a thing where you met the guys in Foreigner.
Yeah, through Tom Permy. He was working for them at the time.
Yeah, they got to hear you play, and I forgot which one guy came up to you, and you could tell that he liked your music, or he told you did.
Yeah, Mick Jones liked my guitar playing. When I was doing when I was in a country band, we were doing showcases for them to try to get management deal with Foreigner.
Yeah, and what was that band that you went to Nashville
Golden
with?
Hall.
Golden Hall. That was like a Cleveland band. There was a guy in Cleveland for a while who was from Nashville, and he got you some tryouts. And for a while, you were going down there quite a bit for showcases and stuff, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you played with Steve Jocham too. He was in that band, right?
Steve Jocham was in that band, right?
Yeah, Golden Hall. The other thing is that, you always tell me every once in a while, you played with Bill Dog, and I kind of know his music, and he even played a couple of Denny Carleton friends that I put on. But you with Bill Dog started getting his music played in Europe, right? And then you toured Europe?
Yeah, we got our music played, and we got picked up by a promoter out of Arizona. I forget the name.
Yeah, but then you guys got to go to Europe for like a couple months, or how was it?
Yeah, we were there for 35 days playing.
What a good
Europe.
experience too, huh?
Yeah.
So, this is a kind of a random interview. This isn't exactly like everything in order. If you want to know more about Al, you can come up to the website, dennycarleton.com, and you could check it out. And even some of these songs that we're going to be playing here, we're only going to give you little bits of it. You can get these things at iTunes or wherever, but, you could also come to the website and hear more or know more. Some of the years that we've been in it, Al, it's kind of hard just to sum it up in a couple minutes,
That's right.
It really is. So one of the things, it's kind of a signature. You put an album out, like I think, was it just called Snake, or was it?
It was Alan Snake, and it was in 81.
And that was your nickname. But on that, there's a signature piece that I think of when I think of you, the Peter Gunn theme, which we're going to play a little bit right after this. And so Peter Gunn theme is awesome, and Henry Mancini wrote it, music theme, but you just rocked it up like anything, and it's kind of obvious that it's a big Jeff Beck influence there.
Yeah, at the time, that's kind of the way I played.
And so Jeff Beck is one of your main influences in guitar?
At that time, yeah, but I kind of switched over to more like, country, because I've always played a little with my fingers instead of just a pick, so...
You like Mark Knopfler a lot, you always tell me.
Mark Knopfler, right, yeah. And I always had this thing with my fingers, so I started playing, with double bends and pedal steel bends and stuff like that.
Yeah, you and I are similar in that, is that we grew up, we love the 1960s music, we love it. It's in our veins, it's in our blood, our DNA. But at the same time, we really like... we started to really fall in love with a lot of the good Americana songwriters, the Rodney Crowells, and Steve Earles. We just like that, and so you got to meet like a million of them. You met Joe, Joe Ely, a whole bunch of people from that
right,
scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, so hey, why don't we listen to the Peter Gunn theme for right now? And if you want to know more about Al, you can check out the website, or we're going to play some songs from an album that we just did called Troubadour and the Cowboy, and we'll come back with that. But let's listen to a little bit of Peter Gunn.
Okay.
So that was a Peter Gunn theme. Where did you record that, Al?
I recorded that at Kirkiano's After Dark Studios.
And Kirkiano's been in New York City forever, right? And you saw him recently at that Beatles Fest thing.
Yeah,
at
Beachland Ballroom.
Beachland Ballroom. So, yeah, and he's been pretty successful in New York?
Yeah, he's doing a lot of hip-hop artists and stuff like that. He plays with some blues guy.
What kind of guitar did you use in that? Did you use a Strat or was it a Telecaster?
Yeah, using a 64 Stratocaster.
Yeah, you have that really raunchy sound. So.
If you are interested in Denny Carleton's music, videos, or books, check out www.dennycarleton.com. The website is also full of music history, fun photos, and archived radio shows of Denny and his friends. All of Denny's music, videos, and writings are also available on YouTube, Amazon, iTunes, Spotify, and other social media sites. Thanks for listening, and remember to support local music.
When Al asked me to record an album, Troubadour and the Cowboy, he told me I play everywhere and for everyone, so I'm a troubadour. And so he took my songs. Al Globekar has taken my acoustic songs to another place. To me, it reminds me of Bob Dylan songs, how they turned out to be like Birds or Hendrix versions. But that's the arrangement. So we're going to listen to one of my songs, and then we're going to listen to how Al arranged it. So as I mentioned earlier, this song is on Troubadour and the Cowboy with Al Globekar and I. But I want to play you the original recording I did of Whiskey Island.
The story I tell, a hidden mystery. People, rocks and sand, steel and salt, nature flowing free. Hear the tale of Whiskey Island.
So that's the original version. It was sort of like a Gordon Lightfoot, a kind of a acoustic. I recorded that at Lakeland Community College with Art Lazaro on percussion. But so when Al got a hold of it on the Troubadour and Cowboy, I had always wanted to do it more fun, Irish, upbeat, and so it came out like this with Al's arrangement.
Island. Then came the Irish who lived and lie there. They struggled to make a dollar. They worked real hard. Sunday went to church. Hooray for Whiskey Island. Hey!
So that's the arranged version. The next part of this podcast is Al is going to be talking about his songs on Troubadour and the Cowboy. And on the liner notes it says, as the project continued, the songs seemed to tell a story. A gunfighter, Ringo, who had 12 notches on his gun, found his true love, Elena, but he lost in love, became a lonely cowboy. He went on to see an Indian medicine man, eventually had a bounty on his head, and ended up in a hangman's knot. Cowboys, Indians, the Wild Wild West, a history of America that needs to be celebrated, remembered, and sang. Hi, I'm here with Al Globekar, and we're going to be talking about the CD that we have out, Troubadour and the Cowboy. Al, how did you ever come up with Troubadour and the Cowboy?
Well, Denny, I knew you were the troubadour because you play everywhere.
Right.
And I always wore cowboy boots.
That's a start.
So
I understand.
It just kind of came up that way, and then we kind of rolled with it, and we split the sides, and it's a unique concept.
It's funny. Someone else randomly, differently than you, that said that's what I was. One day they just said you're a troubadour. It was like, okay,
you play all over.
Yeah. I need the money, Al. I always needed the money. That's part of the problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, you got to do what you got to do.
Got to do what Troubadour's got to do. What he's got to do. You were influenced by a famous Italian composer for your cowboy segment of the CD.
Yeah, Ennio Morricone from the Spaghetti Western. I like that style of music, so I based off my stuff and ended up telling a story, too.
Yeah, you ended up telling a story, and so yours is a cowboy in kind of a tribute to Western, the Spaghetti Western music, and And I think one thing you always say is, you kind of took that feel of the old westerns, but you brought in more of an electric guitar, a little more, aggressive, or not, just a cool electric on top of it.
Yeah, they had melody lines, but they never really had solos. So I put solos into them, and that's how it all came about.
Yeah, you might have created a new genre of music. You never know,
Yeah, maybe, I don't know.
Who knows? We just do the music. Other people try to figure it out, right? So let's do one that really kind of really rocks here. Let's do right away. Let's do 12 Notches, and it's really cool because what you're going to hear is how Al sets up the riff, and at the end he starts soloing on it. So let's listen to a little of 12 Notches. Was Al Globekar on Troubadour and the Cowboy doing 12 Notches. And let's listen to another song off of the Troubadour and the Cowboy by Al. This one is called The Gunfighter.
Could make a bad man cry, avenging angel alive. They call him Ringo. Darkest night, fastest light. They call him Ringo. Lonely is a man with a gun and no soul.
So that was the Gunfighter. We got a couple more of yours now. This is more like for fun, but the Lonely Cowboy that's on there. After all he's getting hung and everything else, maybe it's good to have to lighten it up a little bit, right?
Well, his girlfriend Elena leaves him.
Yes.
So he's a lonely cowboy.
That's sad, isn't it? So
yeah,
let's listen to this sad bloke, and let's see how this goes. Okay.
I'm just a lonely cowboy searching for my heart. That little old cowboy, she tore it all apart. She told me that she loved me. She told me she'd be true.
¿Qué tipo de vida pudiera tener con un pistolero?
This is a song that Al wrote. It's the Lonely Cowboy singing to Elena, the woman he loved.
I wanted you left tonight. You never turned around. I guess I held on.
Hey, Al, thanks for coming on.
Okay, Denny. Goodbye to everybody.
Okay,
Adios.
we'll see. Adios. Okay, we'll see you. Bye. See you, cowboy. Hey, this is Denny Carleton. Thank you for listening to the story behind the song. I'd like to thank my guest, Al Globekar. And till we see you next time, support local music. God bless you.
If you are interested in Denny Carleton's music, videos, or books, check out www.dennycarleton.com. The website is also full of music history, fun photos, and archived radio shows of Denny and his friends. All of Denny's music, videos, and writings are also available on YouTube, Amazon, iTunes, Spotify, and other social media sites. Thanks for listening, and remember to support local music.